Everyone, so I just finished watering some plants. I ate a quick little snack because I have a meeting right now with one of my supervisors, and I just finished having consultation for work, which is basically when counseling associates end up meeting to discuss cases and get feedback and things like that.
How are you feeling? Excited. Well, my feelings about your father are different than your feelings about your father.
Hey, so I'm going to be eating this delicious meal up, and it's actually a little pre-made meal. I like buying these little prepared meals locally. Definitely helps me when I have busier work days. It's like a spicy sriracha chicken. It's really good. And I'm also currently watching Falling in Love on Netflix, so I'm gonna go ahead and eat this, watch that, and then get ready to commute to work.
Maybe this is a sign. I need to strike out on my pool.
Yes, there's your get up and go spirits.
Hi everyone, so happy Thursday. I am very excited that it is almost Friday. I made myself some chamomile tea, but I'm really excited because this morning I ended up going over to Home Goods and I got some storage bins that I can go ahead and use for closet organization. And personally, to be really honest, I just need a mindfulness type moment right now to help me relax and detach from work for a little bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and put my earphones on and blast some music and get to organizing. Hi everyone, so today is a Tuesday, so a start of a new week. Technically Tuesdays are when my week actually starts client-wise, so I have a little mini session at 1. Surprisingly, I actually don't have a lot of clients right now. A lot of them ended up scheduling for later during the week. I'm actually really looking forward to having some time to brainstorm some of the things that I talked about in my last video. So usually in these little free consultation calls or little mini sessions, it's just about kind of explaining, you know, my approach and me answering the potential client's questions, so seeing if we're a good fit and all of those things. And I have one note left to do, which is great because I came back from holiday break. So I came back from taking that week off, and Monday was like crunch time. I worked on 4 notes. This morning I got 2 done, so I just have 1 more to go, and we're going to bust it out after I do this little mini session. And honestly, I personally have had the worst luck with like these mini sessions. For some reason, people hardly ever show up for the mini sessions. I don't know why. But yeah, I will go ahead and catch up with you after this so we can go ahead and bust out this note together. Hi everyone, so sadly the client did not show, but it happens. Again, another reality, but I have a note to type up. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that done. That way I can get to brainstorming some things for future private practice that I wanna do. It all begins just like anything else in my life, like grad school, like one day working in private practice. Everything starts with some good old-fashioned brainstorming. Hello everyone. So it is almost 3 p.m. and I'm done with my official work day at the job site where I work. I'm done with that. I finished up my last note. Did end up having the little mini session and booked an intake with that client. So right now I am on Canva on my phone, and I'm trying to work on a community post that I'm gonna go ahead and type up on YouTube. I'm so excited that I can finally use that feature now. If I would have had that when I first started this channel, then I would have been able to let you all know like, hey, I'm taking a break from YouTube for a while, and just kept you updated. So I'm really excited that I have that now because I can easily just share things with you through the community tab. So right now I am on Canva, and I'm gonna go ahead and screen record. That way I can go ahead and show you what I'm doing. But I highly recommend Canva if you're thinking of doing something on social media, mental health related, or any type. It's a really great free resource. So I'm gonna go ahead and make the community post really quick. So let's see, from uploads, what are the pictures? I basically use this account for my other YouTube channel too that I've had for almost 4 years now. So let me see. What picture am I looking for? So let's see, I want to go ahead and use this photo, and then also use this one. There we go. And then I want to go ahead and bring this to the front. So let's go to position forward. There we go. There we go. So video title is Working Private Practice Update on Working. I hope this is helpful, like to see me work on this real time, because I know like talking about it is one thing, but getting to show you I know can also be helpful if you're a visual learner, which I feel like if you're already watching me on YouTube, it's because you are in some way, shape, or form a visual learner. Update on working, and then I want to duplicate that. There we go. This, and I'm doing this so that way I can try the community tab feature that we now have. I already do have experience working with it because of my other YouTube channel, but it's just really exciting getting to do it with you all now. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and finish posting that now, and we can go ahead and have a chat, because I really liked one of the comments that one of you ended up leaving on my update video. If you haven't watched that, definitely go check it out, because I talk about just kind of updates on what it's been like working private practice as an LPC associate, which that is going to be completely different from what it would be like working private practice as a fully, you know, licensed as an LPC. It is going to be different, and I've never seen anyone do a YouTube video on that, and that doesn't mean it's not out there. I've just never seen it, so I was really excited to put that out there, because these are things that I had so many questions about. BRB, I'm gonna post this and then we're gonna go ahead and have our chat. Okay everyone, so I am back, and I wanted to go ahead and pretty much have a nice chat and conversation over one of the comments that one of our subscribers and fellow counselors in training provided. Really important points, and instantly very relatable as I was reading this, because I had the same concerns when I was in grad school. Okay, so one of the first points on here that I found to be really important is how overwhelming grad school has been since the pandemic. I truly don't know anyone who would disagree with this, because even though for some of us it may have helped in certain areas, it also came with a lot of drawbacks, you know, when it comes to internship experiences and even just interacting with classmates. So for me, when I was in grad school, pandemic hit my last 2 semesters. Hold on, it got really dark in here. Okay, so I remember being at my practicum site, so the one before internship, and just having conversations with the other interns or practicum students, and just all of us were freaked out. We didn't know what was happening. It was the first time we were hearing about anything pandemic related, and in a couple of days we were all really scared. Some had access to masks, some of us didn't, so it was just a very scary situation, and for all of those who were in my cohort too, because some people were not able to graduate. They had to postpone their graduation because there weren't internship availabilities, and I was just lucky. Yes, I did try really hard, and I was like emailing, and just, if you've heard my story in past videos, I just like showed up, even though I probably shouldn't have, but I showed up and I was given the opportunity. Sometimes you do have to take those chances, but I was very desperate. You know, it was my last semester for my internship, and I had to shoot my shot, and it worked out, but it could have gone either way where it couldn't have worked out. There's that, but also connecting with friends. I remember just texting my friends through and being like, I miss you guys. Like I didn't know how much I would actually miss being in person, because I loved having the online situation because I didn't have to commute into my university. But at the same time, it made it harder to have conversations. And if you're not having conversations with other students, those are resources that we're missing out of. You know what I mean? Like, each of us is a walking resource for each other. So if we're not having those conversations, we're missing out on that, right? So I can imagine that through this time, for those of you who are starting grad school or who have been in this type of situation since the pandemic for a while, you've probably had to like find other ways, connections, and talk to other classmates. So if you have any tips, definitely leave them in the comment section for anyone else who may be struggling through this. And then let's see, what else did I want to talk about from this comment? Oh yes, and then the other point that was brought up says, I wish my program spent more time on navigating career post-graduation. Yes, I remember having like a short conversation about this in grad school. It was never something that was fully like ingrained into us, like this is what you can expect after. The people that I feel like fully provided that for me and for other classmates were the other LPC associates or LPCs that we encountered during our internship. And that really sucks if you're not getting those opportunities because of the pandemic, right? And I feel like it shouldn't be something that should even be up to them. It's something that our grad program should really walk us through. You know, it should really walk us through okay, what can I expect after? What are the steps? I remember paying about $200 for a course that kind of walked me through the steps after. And even though it was kind of helpful, I was really upset because during this time, all of these changes happened with the board. So a lot of the information that I paid for wasn't even applicable anymore. And I think that was actually like the caveat, or like the thing that really motivated me to start this channel actually, was the fact that I was like so upset. I don't think I've mentioned this before, but I was so upset that I had to pay so much for something that just was not even applicable anymore because of the changes. So thus, from that loss and terrible situation came this. I wanted to go ahead and offer my experience and kind of what I'm going through to other counselors in training. This is something that we have to advocate for in our grad programs. So get a hold of your professors, of your program directors, send those emails. And I want to share this because when I was in grad school, we were kind of told like, hey, if you want to talk about this, you know, just let us know. But when you don't even know the right questions to ask and what you should be looking out for, it's really hard to just email a professor and let them know, hey, could you discuss this? How would a student know what to ask if they've never encountered that? They're not in that situation yet, right? So I'm trying to rewind the hands of time. We're going back in time. If I were in grad school, I would email my program director or one of my professors that I feel comfortable with, because that's a whole other topic. Again, we may not feel comfortable with all of our professors, but with someone that you feel comfortable with, would it be possible for us to have a conversation in class about what to expect post-graduation, how the process actually works to get our LPC-associate license, or whatever the license may be in your state. I'm giving my perspective from living in Texas and being licensed here, but you know, however that applies to you, and really requesting for that walkthrough to happen. Because if I would have known what I know now, I would have asked that. And I know some of my professors that would have been so willing to have that conversation, but I'm sure it's also really hard for them because they have outlined things that they need to talk about. So if not enough people request something, then it's just not something that takes priority or importance, right? So I highly encourage you, if you're still in grad school, do it. And I'm truly not trying to throw shade, but it's so important for us to hold our programs accountable because we're paying, right? In most cases, it's not something that's being freely given to us. I'm a first-gen Latina, so I related to this comment so much. Also, it says, I am realizing how important it is to have a good supervisor while in internship. Yes. The more you start talking to other LPCs or LPC-associates, you will get the lowdown, and they will let you know like, hey, it's really important. And I know for me, when it came to the supervisor that I currently have, I chose what I saw as quality over low cost. And there were other options where I could pay so much less for a supervisor, but I decided to go with someone that I felt really comfortable with, that was a professor of mine. To this day, I always feel validated and very comfortable. And this definitely is an investment in my future. And like I said, there's so many things that I've shared with you all that my supervisor has taken the time to research and share with me, like these changes that are going on with the board. But yes, definitely take your time to select your supervisor and to really ask around in your program and ask other students or other LPCs if there's anyone that they recommend, because I've shared in past videos, I have heard some horror stories. Such a difficult situation to be in. So yes, be very selective of who you choose to be your supervisor. So this next little thing that I want to talk about, private practice versus community health. And if you've watched my past videos, you will hear me really like advocate for like private practice for myself, right? That is my current lived experience because of my past lived experiences. So this does not mean that I hate community health. Our communities need these systems in place, but they are just not the healthiest place all the time for mental health professionals. That's just a reality, and you will have some people that will fight you on this. I remember in one of my past classes, I shared my experience in community health, and I actually had another counselor in training in my class call me out and say that what I was saying wasn't true, even though I knew it was true, and so many other people that I've worked with and that I've talked to know it's true, which is also why I became very selective of the people that I hung out with in grad school. I don't have a ton of friends. The grad school friends that I do have, I treasure, and they truly helped me through so many hard times during grad school. Like I said, we're all a walking resource for each other. So I want to pass on the same advice or words of encouragement that were given to me by another LPC. And if you're thinking of doing community health, and once you get in, you see that the work environment is not a healthy one, it's a place where you're very overworked, have the mindset of only being there for a short amount of time and then moving on. And that was the best advice that I was given, and I wish I would have known it before, because I remember at the time I didn't have an exact goal as to what I wanted to do when I was working community health, other than I wanted a job, right, in my field after getting my undergraduate. And I remember telling myself, okay, my goal is to just last a year, right? I want to last a year here and I want to learn. But if I'm going back in time, I wish my mindset would have been, you know what, I am going to work here 4 to 5 months, or until I feel comfortable. I'm going to soak up all of the information. I'm not going to put pressure on myself, and I'm going to move on when I feel like it's time to move on. I think if my mindset would have been different, and if I would have really stuck to setting healthy boundaries, I could have avoided the burnout that came after that. And when I say burnout, I mean like I had insomnia, I was very anxious. It was the saddest state I had ever been in my life and in my career after graduating and having that experience. So I personally do not regret the experience, because I learned so many things that I can now apply to private practice, that truly and honestly, if I would have just gone straight into private practice, I would have had to learn more things the hard way. And I'm not saying that that's not possible. It truly is, especially if you're working with someone, a supervisor, a psychologist, whoever employs you, that is very much like a mentor and is willing to show you a lot of these things. But there's a lot of things having to do with like custody agreements, legality, a lot of different things that usually if you're in an agency, there's like little buffers to protect you in a way. And when you're in private practice, you really have to be very vigilant of all of these things. Don't be afraid to try community health. Stick to your healthy boundaries. That's something that's going to be super important, because at least through my experience, you know, everyone's experience is different, but your healthy work boundaries will usually be challenged when you work in that setting. Very conflicting, right? Because you were told, oh, well, take your lunch break, but then also do all of this amount of work. And there's just not enough time in a day. So there was just a lot of conflicting things. Yes, definitely be open to having all of these different experiences. They will build you up to being the clinician that you want to be, right? It's all about having these different experiences. And if you're able to, definitely try having those experiences during internship and practicum, because it does make it a safer place to be in a way, and a safer situation to be. And I cannot stress that enough. If you've been wondering about private practice, try reaching out to a local private practice in your area and seeing if they're taking on interns. But that is it for this video, everyone. If you're new to my channel, definitely consider subscribing for more counselor and training tips. Thank you so much for watching, and I will go ahead and see you in my next video. Bye, everyone.